In this video, I'm going to show you how we use the Canny Collar to teach Finn how to walk on a loose lead. This is based on our own experience, Finn's history, and what's worked for us over time. Now, when we adopted Finn, he already had some pretty ingrained pulling habits. He'd been allowed to pull in a harness for a long time, which basically meant that to get anywhere, he bunny hopped. It wasn't his fault, that's just what worked for him at the time. But obviously, when we got him, that meant that we had to undo a lot of the habits that he'd already practiced. So if you feel like you have a difficult dog, this is something I really want to emphasise. With Finn, loose lead walking hasn't been something that we've shown him once and then just forgot about. It's been built over repetition and consistency over time. If we let things slide with Finn, he will revert back to his old ways, and that's totally normal. That's just learning history. That's why consistency on the loose lead really matters. Good boy. The good news is that you're not stuck with it. With consistency, these bad habits, they can be reversed pretty quickly. Now, we use the Canny Collar because it doesn't put any pressure on the dog's windpipe or the trachea. It fastens behind the head, so it guides the head rather than moves the body, which helps me communicate what I want him to do in a calm and consistent way. When we first started using the Canny Collar with Finn, he definitely noticed the noseband. Any dog that's not used to having anything over their nose, it's going to feel really unusual at first. A bit like walking a dog on a collar and lead for the first time. It's strange to them, so it takes a bit of getting used to. Now, he would do what I would describe as a little bit of a toddler temper tantrum to try and get it off. But we knew he wasn't in any discomfort. So the best practice that we'd do there is we'd just ignore the behaviour. We'd keep going with the training, encouraging him along. If you give it any attention at all, it just reinforces that behaviour. If you ignore it, it tends to fade away pretty quickly. Now, before we head out onto the pavements outside the house, I'll do a few short laps of the garden. There's not many distractions here. It's a little bit of a dump, which is perfect. It's why it works. So we'll do a few laps here, probably 5 minutes, if that, just to start the walk off calmly so that Finn knows what's expected of him before we start adding any extra distractions. Okay, so once the Canny Collar is on, that's it, we're in training mode. There's no sniffing, I'm not checking my emails or looking at my phone. There's no rush, we're just nice and calm, just walking around the garden. Come, good boy. So no rushed, nice relaxed, loose lead. That's it. And you guide the walk. So he knows where the gate is. That's where he wants to go. Good lad. Now, this may take some time. If you're just starting out, you want to get this bit right. So don't rush. If this is all you do, that's fine. Good boy. Nice and calm. This bit sets the tone for the rest of the walk, so this is probably the most important part of your walk. Good boy. Good boy, sit. And if he's done a good job, you reward. Good boy. So like I say, I'll take my time with this bit because this is probably the most important part of the walk. You want to start off calm. If this doesn't start off the right way, things tend to unravel as soon as we get out through the gate because he's already in a heightened sense of excitement. You just want to set the tone for the rest of the walk. If you do this for 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes tops, before you go out into the wider world. In the next video, I'll show what this looks like on the pavements when we're dealing with real-world distractions. But this is something that we've built over time, not overnight.